Hi everyone, I'm back. Continuing on with viewer favorites and viewer challenges. I'm going to go over here to a challenge because we did a favorite yesterday, and I'm going to do Ellipse. I realized I spelled it wrong on this page, for shame, but 3 people have an issue with Ellipse, so I'm going to try it. I have done it before. Excuse me. I have done it before, and I actually have found it to be a really fun pattern to do. I did it on a large piece on a diagonal grid. It came out so good, but Ellen has done a video on it, and I have already done a video on it, but we're going to do it again because I really like it. It's a fun, complex pattern. But before we get started with that, I wanted to mention something near and dear to my heart. We're going to, my husband and I and some of our friends are going to do a walk to raise money for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. It's an Out of the Darkness community walk. This year they're not doing a big walk all together as a big giant group like they did last year. Last year they met at a local park and had a whole big to-do. They're not doing that. They're asking us to do small groups and to walk as a community together that is in smaller groups due to the COVID. So we're going to be walking. The event is on October 24th. If you want to make a donation to the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, that's what it should look like, or Out of the Darkness. If you Google either of those things, you should end up here. It's going to ask what team you're donating for. If you would donate to the team Friends for Michael, it's the Inland Empire Out of the Darkness experience. We would appreciate it. Our goal this year is for the team to raise, I do believe it's $3,500 is what they've come up with for a number, for a goal for raising money. Last year, the team basically consisted of 2 people. The others, there were a couple of others, but there were 2 that were hardcore donation seeking people. That was my husband and our friend Diane. And they had a friendly rivalry on Facebook. I'm ahead, you're ahead, back and forth, so forth and so on. It was kind of fun. And the team raised $2,900, so they've upped their game, and this year they've decided 35 is their goal. All of the monies go to this American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. I don't know about you, but this year has been one of the worst for suicides. COVID has really messed with people's brains. It really has. It has. The people who are already on edge have been pushed over the edge due to isolation, various factors, losing jobs. All of those things have really caused all sorts of problems. And if we can support the groups that help with mental health in this country, I believe that this foundation sets up, like suicide prevention hotlines, that sort of thing. They have counseling available. They have help for paying for counseling. All those kinds of support systems is what they're trying to do to help people to get past that point where they're on the brink. They are beyond hope. They've lost hope. And these kinds of groups are out there to give hope back to people and to bring them back from the edge of doing something that is frankly, you know, something that you can't come back from. I mean, you just can't. And so personally, I have 2 people that we are walking in honor of who chose to not continue in this world. Our friend Michael, and my husband and I also have a friend, Diane. And those people will be honored on the backs of our shirts as we take this walk. I will leave a link, obviously, in the description below for the actual link to that donation page, but I just wanted you to see that. If you don't see the link, or if you want to research it on your own, please feel free to do so. But this is where we're putting our money where our mouth is and walking. Our group has chosen to do a walk ride combination, so there are people who can walk who will be doing a short walk, just a mile or 2 miles or something. They haven't quite figured out the route yet, since it's not a planned event organized by a big group. So we're going to start at our church, and we're going to just walk basically a big block, trying not to cross any of the busy streets. So we're trying to plan that out within our neighborhood, and then and also to make sure that we have places with sidewalks. And then there's going to be a group of people who will be doing a bike ride. We are near a bike path, a dedicated path just for bicyclists, so that helps people to not, I turned on the light too soon, to not be out in traffic. That's very important. Safety is number 1. So we're going to do that. Anyway, on to what I'm trying to do. Sorry about my rant, but you know, I think it's very important. Anyways, Ellipse is not a pattern for beginners. It's just not. But it's not as hard as it looks. Here's the final result. Now, that looks very intimidating. I know it does. I 100% know. You look at that and you go, I can't do that. Oh my gosh. But you can. You can totally do it. And the steps are fairly straightforward. So first thing you want to do is you want to make yourself a grid in pencil. Okay? Make yourself a pencil grid. Oh, look, the Art Sherpa is coming. Oops, you missed that. Got a notification there, Art Sherpa's coming, but I'm busy recording here. Make yourself a pencil grid. At a minimum, you want to do 1, 2, 3, 4, a 5 by 5 grid. I'm probably going to do a little bit more than that, but at a minimum. Then you want to skip this row. In this row, every other one, you want to put an ellipse. Okay? It could be completely round if you want, but an ellipse. And then you skip a row, and then every other one you put an ellipse. Okay? Next, you want to do it the other way. You're going to skip this row, every other row put an ellipse going the other direction. Okay? And then skip a row, every other one you're going to do this direction, so that they look like they're pointing inward toward a center point. Does that make sense? See how they're kind of pointing inward toward a center point? Like that. That's what you want. Don't make these going this way or it won't work. Now, y'all can do those two steps really easy. Now we're going to come from up here, and we're going to come down, and we're going to connect to that ellipse. So they look like long sixes with a kind of, or a golf club or something like that. That'll help anchor that in your mind. I always relate it to something that I know. Okay, so you're going to make that kind of golf club shape, and then you're going to I turn my page around and I make that same golf club shape going the other way. Okay. Then you basically do the same thing again. You're going to make that golf club shape going the other direction. Do you see how it's the same shape? It's just that golf club shape. And then you turn again and you make that same shape. And that automatically creates that puzzle piece shape, and then you should have a sort of squarish shape here in the middle of these 4 golf clubs coming outward, right? Right? And that's it. It really is only those 6 steps. It's not as hard as it looks. And then if you want to, you can come back, you can thicken up some lines, you can do your shading, you can do some embellishments, but the main pattern is this, like that, before embellishment. It's the embellishment that makes it look really difficult. But the pattern itself is not as hard as you might think. It is still not a beginner pattern, I don't think, but it's not something you can't do if you try. So let me put my phone up like that so I can see it. Zoom in my steps. I'm going to turn on my light now. I have to turn off my light when I'm showing you my phone because reflections. Okay. Step number 1. We are going to do a grid in pencil. Going to give myself a border. That's a little too close to the edge. Like, I'm going to do like that. Okay. Let's try that again. Okay. And then I'm going to do about that size. How many rows do I get? 6 is good. Okay, that'll work. I think you need a minimum of the 5 in order to really see the pattern. You could probably do it with only 4 if you wanted to. Is this not square? Yeah, it's square. Why did I end up with 6 lines? Not right. Let's try one in the middle. More like that. Okay. Something like that. Squares don't have to be exact. It's okay. Now, if you want to, if you find it easier for you to make a little mark that you're going to do your ovals this direction, and then this direction, you can do that. That will help you plan just a little mark so that you don't get confused as to what goes where. Because that way, if it doesn't look right, if you've planned it out and then you've put, you know, this way, and then you look at it and you know, that's not right. You can then erase that before you go in with pen. So I just put a little indicator and make sure I'm putting my ovals the right direction. And then I'm just going to take my pen, zoom in just a smidge. I'm going to make my ovals about that size, kind of in the middle of my box. Like that. And then I'm going to turn my page. I find it easier to go horizontally. So I'm just going to turn my page so I'm still drawing my oval in a horizontal way, just because I find that easier. Okay. Alrighty. Now we're going to make golf clubs. We're going to start up here. So every one of these has a blank box, right? Every other spot has a blank box. You see that? A blank box. Every other spot. Those are the spots where you want to start your golf club shape. So start up here in the corner, kind of come down and around. Up here in the corner. Not there, up here. See, I almost started here. That would have been too short of a shape, right? Start up here, come down and around. Make a long golf club. Up here in the corner, the blank box, down and around. Next row. Down and around. Down and around. Down and around. Just like that. Simple. This is a shape you can do. Down and around. Down and around. It just takes a little bit of thought. It's not that hard. It really isn't. Okay, now you've got golf club shapes going one direction. Turn your page and make your golf club shapes going the other direction. Start with your empty box, right? Come down and around. Am I going the right direction? No. Never mind. The next step is to do the other way, upside down. Never mind. Let's follow the steps in order. So turn your page upside down, and then we're still going to make the same one. We're going to make a golf club shape going the other way. So come down and around. Start in the empty box, come down and around. Start in the empty box, come down and around. Kind of looks like a safety pin at this point too. Down and around. Oh, come on. My pen doesn't want to connect those. I'm just going to leave it. I can fix it when I embellish. Empty box, down and around. Empty box, down and around. Now I have these ones up here. They're going to come from here and around from that corner, because the rest of the line would technically go that direction, right? Now let's turn it. And we're going to do the same thing. Empty box, down and around. We want to make sure we go on this side of this line though. Like that. Okay, empty box, come down and around. Make sure you're on that side of that line. Empty box, come down, and that's where it's going to stop. And this one comes from here and around. So this one comes from here, comes around. This one starts here, comes down and around. This one starts here on this side and around. And this one starts here but doesn't go anywhere because there's no place for it to go. Same thing here. It's going to come, and it's going to come right there, here, on this side of this line and around. This one's going to come here on this side of this line and around. And this one fills in right there. and then we turn it upside down. And we do that one more time. Empty box, down and around here. Come on this side of that line and connect it right there. Box, start here, connect there, and go to there. Box, here, and to there. Box, here, come on that side of that line, and to there. Here, and to there. There's the box. Go here and to here. And here's my box, that box. There to there. There's this box, there to there. There's this box, there to there. Now, these ones look funny. These ones need to be finished off. So if you look at your page and something doesn't look right, look at the next thing next to it. So this box should have lines all the way around. If you just look at just the box and not the whole design, it should go all the way around. So since you don't see the the next bit here, you would though go here to there and it would continue down and around. Does that make sense? Here to there and here to there. Same thing over here. It looks kind of funny on this side. So what you do is you look at the square over here and figure out what seems to be not quite right. And what's not quite right is you would start a line. It would start here. This would be your empty box. If you need to, you can extend this with a blank piece of paper. Let me do it that way so that you can't, because sometimes it's very difficult. The edges are always the hardest part. See how the middle has just kind of created itself, but the edges are a little weird because this edge and this edge, these two edges were fairly straightforward because it had the box, but these edges have this open middle and it's like, well, what do I do? So the best way to do that would be then to extend your drawing. Pretend that you have another row of boxes. Right? Just pretend it's there. Another row of boxes, and you just use a pencil and extend that. Okay? Pretend that those boxes exist. This is how I do it in my head with less complicated patterns. I think, what would it look like if it continued? Sometimes you can't envision it because it's a more complicated pattern. So what would it look like if it continued? These ones go this way, these ovals go this way, and they were every other box, right? Every other box. So this one's here, this would not be there. There would be an oval here if there was, more pattern going on. Same thing here. There would be an oval here and here. Okay? And then here's the same thing. There's this one, and then that's going to be an empty box. This one is every other one. That's the empty box. There's going to be one here, right? So here is going to be the oval for this extension. Here's going to be the oval for this extension. right? Then think to yourself, I need to make those same golf club shapes, right? It's going to look just like this column is going to look just like this column. So you need to make this golf club shape here exactly the same. This one comes from here and it goes to there. This one comes from here and goes to there. And then it goes the other way. So it's going to come from here, go to there, here to there. This one's going to go here, right? Here to there. This one's going to go here to here. Same thing over here. It's going to look just like this one. So it's going to come here, and it's going to come this way. This one's going to look just like this square. So it's going to come from here, going this way, and from here going this way. And the reason I'm doing this is so that you can see it in your head. I can see it in my head, but not everybody can. So this helps to figure that out, right? You're going to see this from here and this from here, okay? And then let's just draw the rest of the pattern. Right? Right. Beep, beep. So the rest of the pattern goes which way? Is that right? Do I need to do anything else? Yes. Yes, I need to do something else. What else do I need to do? Oh yeah, they need to go this way. Well, but for this edge, I don't need to do anything else. Now do I? Or do I? Let me look. So from this square should look exactly like this square. So this square should have an arch coming down here, and then it comes around like that. And that comes from there, so you basically don't see anything there. So that's pretty much an empty square, that one. But these should have this, they should have that, and these should have this. And that's right. That's how it should go. Okay, so with my pen, the only parts that I actually need to draw are the parts that are on the pink just like that. That's what finishes it off. Like that. The rest of it you won't see. And now if I go back through with a border, it will look better. But see how you can just take a scrap piece of paper and extend your pattern so that you can figure out what you would or wouldn't see? I'm going to go ahead and make a nice border to kind of frame this up. And you really aren't going to see those lines. I just wanted to show you that that is right. It looks wrong, but that is right. That's right on those edges. Just looks wrong, but it's not. Does that make sense? I hope that made sense to you guys. That's how I think about it in my head. My little pea brain. Okay, so now if I want to embellish, which I think I do, I want to follow, I'm just going to follow what they did on the sample. And what they did on the sample, oh, you know what they did on the sample to make it look a little less weird is they went in a half on the they didn't have a full square there. Oh, that's interesting what they did on the sample to make it not have that weird edge. They stopped it here, like at a half. Huh. Okay. Just interesting how it looks. That's because I did an even number that it ended up in this weird place. If I did an odd number, it would have ended here. And that looks better as an ending spot. See? If I'd done 5 and 5, a 5 by 5, it ends there. If you have an even number, it ends weird. So I would suggest when you're making this pattern that you do an odd number of, you know, do 5 by 5 or 7 by 7. 6 by 6 was a little weird. That's good to know. I learned something new. But it's still correct. It's just a little weird. So I'm going to thicken up. Let me just use a fatter pen because that makes it easier and faster. I am going to thicken up these lines just like they did in the sample. Those ones. And that will give it some dimension, but it'll also give me an opportunity to fix any weird thing that I did with my pen. Okay. This might end up being kind of long. Bear with me. It'll get there. And please do, if you can, please do donate to the Suicide Prevention Awareness Group. Like I said, the COVID is just causing all sorts of mental health problems in this world, not just here in the United States, but all over the world. I have a friend who struggles with her mental health anyways, but this lockdown has really just, yeah, it's not good. It's not pretty, it's not good. Did they do it this way too? No. No, no, no. They've got this. Just going this way. I should have thought about where that one was and done it on that one, but I didn't, so that's okay. Fires are still raging. Today, when I checked the air quality, this morning I could really smell the smoke. It's the worst morning so far for particulates. My weather conditions say smoke and 78, and then my air quality index is at 152. My husband was going to take a bike ride, but the beach where he was going to go take his bike ride, it's a lovely temperature. It's only 61 degrees, but the air quality is at 160. No way. No way. Oops. And then when I look up the city in Oregon where we were for the wedding 1 week ago today, the air quality is at a whopping 596. There is a dense smoke advisory. The air quality should be at 0, but it usually hovers between 5 and 10. 596. I can't even imagine. That's 5 times worse than what we're having here. And already here, my throat, it's just, you can hear it in my voice. I know you can. I'm all kind of gravelly. And that's just because of the smoke. Nothing I can do about it. We did have all of our doors and windows closed. Had the air conditioner on. Had someone suggested that having a vaporizer or humidifier on helps with being able to breathe a little bit, and the smoke and kind of clearing at least the inside air. Don't know if that helped or not, but you know, we did it last night anyways, so it's a little more humid in the house. Apparently it's supposed to, the humid particles, the water vapor, is supposed to grab onto the smoke and drop it so that it's not lingering in the air as much. And it probably did help quite a bit, because inside the house is not, you really can't smell any smoke, but as soon as you open the door, wow, it just hits you in the face. And then these are going to have like a double line, but a broken double line. You see that? How I did that? Just like that. They're not all going to be the same. They'll be all slightly different. Just going around all of these, giving them a double line. Just like that. Follow those around. you do them all slightly different, then it doesn't matter if you've made a mistake, because they're all slightly different. That will have a line, that will have a line, that will have a line. There will be a line here. No. No. It will be slightly thicker here. Slightly thicker. Okay, so on one side there's a thick line, and on the other side there's the little dash, right? And then in the sample, well, they do around both sides. Okay, because mine didn't look like the sample. I wanted to make it look like the sample. Go all the way around like that. They do kind of look like safety pins. Which is kind of cool. And then we're going to right? Double lines everywhere. Double lines everywhere, okay. Feel like you would see that double line. In part of this square, yep. Okay, now we can erase all our guidelines because we don't need them anymore. Do a little bit of shading and be done. Yes, it's going to be a long video, but it's a complicated pattern, so I kind of expected that. Drew a little dark on this corner. Okay. Okay. Shading. Do just some shading where they overlap, which is all of these bits, just like this. I doing things in a weird order? Maybe. It'll all get done. As long as it all gets done. Doesn't matter what order I do it. Right? So I'll just put a little bit of graphite down. And then use your blending stump or a tortillon. Whichever one you prefer. It's up to you. And then just blend that out. Look how different that looks. That makes a huge difference. Let me just do half of it and then show you what it looks like with half of it blended and half of it not. See? See how that looks compared to that? That's flat and that's dimensional. It's very cool. Time is it? Okay. Gotta keep track of the time because I can't go over an hour. But we're only at 48 minutes. I'm good. If you're still here with me, thank you for sticking it out. If you have fast forwarded to this point, that's okay too. I understand. This is one of those kind of weird patterns that very long. Okay, so now I want to put a little bit of highlighting. I think I'm going to actually highlight the middles of these just a little bit to show that they're kind of above, like they're kind of poofed out a little bit. I don't know if you can actually see that. It's weird in the camera that it doesn't really be picking it up. But I can see it. That's just a little bit of pencil as a highlight. And then I think I'm going to come back in with my gel pen and highlight in here. Like so. Now do you see it? Ah, yes, now you can see it. You really couldn't see it before. So I'm glad I chose the white pen. The white pen is an awesome tool, especially when you work on colored paper. The color of the paper isn't showing up right on my camera. This is a bright pink. For some reason it kind of looks like a purple on my camera. That's weird. But it's a bright pink, almost neon. Ooh, I missed a... You guys yelling at me that I missed that? Okay. I think that will do it. Perfect. Okay, there you go. Highlighted, shaded, interesting, complex, but it's not as bad as it looked, was it? It's really just one shape. It's this golf club shape. That's all it is really one shape. If you didn't want to use the ellipses, you could do it all as one shape. It's a golf club shape, golf club shape. You can do this. You can. I have faith in you. All right, you guys have a really great day. Go out and do something nice for someone today. Make a donation. If it's not to the suicide prevention link, then you know, pick a charity of your choice, but make a donation somewhere and help others. That will make the world a better place, one person at a time, $1 at a time. You know, do your research, find a good cause, and give of yourself something that is near and dear to your heart. This might not be something that's near and dear to your heart, and I get it. I understand that, and that's cool. But if it is a topic that's near and dear to your heart, the link will be in the description box below. Join me and my husband and my friends as we work really hard to help others who are struggling with mental health issues this year. And all years, but this year in particular. This has been a tough year. It really has. Yeah. Anyway, go out and do something nice for each other. And have a blessed day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.